Welcome to another episode of Wood Goblin Fabrication.
So, I just finished this floating countertop, and basically it is screwed into the wall, and it's got some 45-degree angle 2x4s that are supporting it against the wall. But I did this nice dark wood finish on the front, and for the drawers, they're just sort of, blended in with the rest of the table. There's only 2 drawers here, but as you can see, it's my first time installing drawers and first time building them and installing something like this. So this is the table, and now I'm pretty sure it can hold my weight. Whoa! Look at that! Floating in the air, no problem.
After cutting all of my lumber, I lined everything up perfectly square and built a frame to support the tabletop. I only use star-shaped deck screws because I love the strength they provide and I've never had one strip on me. After the framing was done, I took the cut-off strips of plywood and started making my drawers. I'm using 1/4-inch MDF for the bottom of the drawers, which I will cut to size on my table saw. I then create a shallow dado in the plywood by having my table saw blade about 1/4 of an inch from the surface. I run this through each board once, and then I move the fence about 1/8 of an inch and run it through a second time to give myself the perfect dado size. I don't currently have a dado blade for my saw, so this is the next best thing. I then use a chisel to clean up the dado. After dry fitting the drawer, it's time to get out my pocket jig. Off screen, I realized the drawers were a little bit too tall, so I cut them down to size and began assembling everything using my corner clamp. I bought these drawer sliders that have ball bearing system and can support up to 50 pounds. Using a few scraps of MDF, I placed the tracks in place to give the drawers a little bit of extra room. I have never installed drawers like this before, but I have to say the whole process was actually pretty easy. The satisfaction and smoothness of the drawer working is something I will never get tired of. After the drawers were installed, it was time to install the desk itself. Since I'm working by myself and the height worked out perfectly, I used this cabinet to support the weight while I attached everything. Getting everything level wasn't terribly easy, but I succeeded in the end nonetheless with a little bit of nudging and adjustment. I next took a cut-off strip of plywood and rounded the edges with a small bevel for a nice clean look. After staining the piece and putting a gloss finish on it, it was time to attach it to the front. I knew from the very beginning that I wanted the drawers to appear hidden with one continuous piece of wood as the face. I used a little bit of hot glue to get everything aligned perfectly before I attached the drawer face with the screws from the inside of the drawer. I wanted a floating desk without legs because my shop is small and floor space is essential. When I moved my shop to a new location earlier this year, I removed the drawers and installed the hanging desk in my new shop, which you can see here. Even though this desk wasn't built for this location, it works just as perfectly as it did in the old one. Thanks for watching my construction video. If you liked it, please check out my others.